Welcome to Springfield Career Insights. Tonight, we speak to the young person who finished school and found no doors open. No job, no capital, no connections. Just pressure, expectations, and the fear of being left behind. This is the reality for thousands of young people across the country, talented, willing, and hardworking, yet trapped by circumstances they did not create. But even in this difficult reality, there are pathways, there are strategies, there are steps that turn survival into progress and progress into future. So we ask, what does a young person do when life starts at zero or even below zero? How do you build a life when you have no money, no network, and no one opening doors for you? To guide us through this honest and practical conversation, we are joined by His Excellency Dr. Godfrey Gandawa, President of Springfield Research University, Architect of Education 6.0, and a continental voice on youth empowerment, economic survival, and human potential. President, welcome.
Thank you, Doctor. At Springfield, we teach that starting with nothing does not mean ending with nothing. When a young person learns to use what they have, their hands, their skills, their time, their discipline, they begin to build a foundation that money alone cannot buy. A future is not built by resources. A future is built by resourcefulness.
Thank you, Professor. President, many young people leave school with hope but no resources. Why is the transition from school to hustle so difficult for this generation?
So thank you, Doctor. So the transition from school to hustle is so difficult for this generation because they are stepping into a world that demands skills without teaching. The results without resources, and resilience without preparation. So 3 forces make this transition brutally hard. The first one, the world has changed faster than the systems that prepare our young people. So schools still teach an economy that no longer exists. Young people graduate into a marketplace that rewards digital skills, creativity, networks, and adaptability, none of which were emphasized in their learning journey. They live with hope, but hope alone cannot compete with a shifting economy. So secondly, this generation is carrying pressure that previous generations never faced. They are expected to succeed early, look successful online, and figure it out instantly. So their hustle is no longer just economic. It is emotional, social, and psychological. They are fighting battles their parents never had to fight. And thirdly, they are entering adulthood without a safety net. No capital, no mentorship, no networks, no soft land. They step out of school and fall straight into survival mode. And survival mode kills creativity, confidence, and long-term planning. But here's the deeper truth, Doctor. This generation is not failing. They are navigating a world that was not designed with them in mind. They are not lazy. They are not entitled. They are not confused. They are under-resourced, under-pressured, and expected to perform miracles with empty hands. The transition is difficult because the bridge between school and opportunity is broken, and young people are being asked to jump. Now, our task as a society is now simple. Stop blaming the youth for struggling and start building. the bridges they deserve.
Thank you, Professor. When a young person finishes school and realizes there is no job waiting for them, what is the first mindset shift they must make?
So thank you, Doctor. So the first mindset shift a young person must make when they finish school and realize there is no job waiting is this. No one is coming, but I am capable of becoming. This shift is everything. It moves a young person from waiting to building, from expectation to creation, from disappointments to strategy. 3 truths sit inside that mindset. The first is the world no longer rewards certificates, doctor. It rewards capability. School gives you a foundation, not a future. Your next chapter is built on skills, not paper. The moment you accept this, you stop feeling rejected and start feeling responsible. Secondly, employment is no longer the only path. Value creation is. A job is one way to earn a living, not the only way. The modern economy rewards initiative, learning a digital skill, offering a service, solving a problem, starting small. The hustle is not a downgrade, doctor. It is a launchpad. And third, you are not behind. You are at the beginning. The shock of no job is not failure, doctor. It is the real beginning of adulthood. It is the moment you stop depending on systems and start depending on your own growth. The young person who succeeds today is not the one who waits for opportunity, doctor. It is the one who creates motion, even with empty pockets. The mindset shift is simple but powerful. Stop asking, who will hire me? And start asking, what can I build, learn, or offer? That shift turns fear into fuel. It turns uncertainty into direction. It turns a young person into a force.
Thank you, Professor. We often say that lack of money is not lack of potential. How can young people internalize this truth?
Thank you, Doctor. So a young person internalizes the truth that lack of money is not lack of potential. The moment they stop treating their circumstances as a verdict and start treating them as a beginning. Money is a snapshot of where you are. Potential is a forecast of where you can go. Those two things do not live in the same room, doctor. A young person begins to believe this truth when they realize that some of the world's greatest builders, thinkers, creators, and innovators started with nothing but hunger, curiosity, and the courage to begin. When they understand that the absence of money does not make them small, it simply makes their journey authentic. They internalize it when they stop waiting for capital and start building capacity. When they stop saying, I can't, and start asking, how can I? When they stop seeing poverty as a prison and start seeing it as a training ground. The moment a young person realizes that their mind, their discipline, their imagination, and their willingness to grow are worthy more than any bank balance, something powerful happens. They stop apologizing for where they come from and start preparing for where they are going. So, lack of money is temporary. Potential is permanent. And once they feel that truth in their bones, the world can no longer intimidate them.
Thank you, Professor. President, how can young people identify income opportunities that match their skill, even if those skills seem ordinary?
Thank you, Doctor. So, young people often underestimate their own skills because they compare themselves to the extraordinary, forgetting that the world runs on the ordinary done well. So, the real challenge is not the absence of opportunity, Doctor. It is the inability to see opportunity in what they already know. A young person identifies income opportunities the moment they stop asking, is my skill special? And start asking, who needs what I can do? A skill becomes valuable the moment it solves a problem for someone else. Maybe you can explain things clearly. Maybe you are patient with children. Maybe you are good with your hands. Maybe you understand phones, or you write well, or you organize things naturally. These are not small abilities. They are economic doors waiting to be opened. The key is to look at your skill through the eyes of that person who needs it. So a parent doesn't care if your tutoring is ordinary. They care that their child finally understands math. You see that? So a small business doesn't care if your graphic design is simple. They care that their poster brings customers. A neighbor doesn't care if your cleaning, fixing, or organizing is basic. They care that their life becomes easier. So, ordinary skills become income when you connect them to someone's need, Doctor. Here is the truth young people must hold tight. You don't need to be exceptional to start. You need to be useful. And excellence comes later. The world is full of people waiting for someone who can do the simple things with reliability, respect, and consistency. That is where opportunity hides, Doctor. Not in brilliance, but in usefulness.
Thank you, Professor. Let's take a break and listen to our gospel song, Spiritual Travel.
You take me to places that no feet have known, where the winds carry secrets only heaven owns. You lift me through forests where the treetops shine, and the air hums softly with the pulse of the divine. Hey, hey, hey. I rise above mountains that never had a name. I walk through realms untouched by earthly flame. Never tire. You open hidden doors no mortal eyes can see. face. Take me higher, take me deeper, where the mysteries unfold, where the unseen becomes my homeland, and your presence is my soul. Let the angels circle round me, let your power fill my bones. I am never outnumbered, your grace is my throne. I am a spiritual traveler, born of heaven's breath, walking realms of victory, untouched by fear or death. You take me where the brave ones go, where only faith can stand, and I return with glory burning from the touch of your hand. My enemies may whisper, but they tremble at your name, for I am carried by the one whose fire cannot be tamed.
Welcome back. Let's continue with our discussion. Some young people feel pressured to impress society instead of building slowly. How can they escape this trap?
Thank you, Doctor. So the pressure to impress society is one of the most dangerous traps for a young person, because it forces them to perform a life they have not yet built, you see. It turns growth into competition, progress into comparison, and the journey into a stage play. To escape this trap, a young person must reclaim their pace. The world will always reward the illusion of success, the clothes, the lifestyle, the curated image. But life rewards the foundation. And foundations are built slowly, quietly, and without applause. A young person breaks free the moment they realize that society is not watching them as closely as they think. People are too busy performing their own survival to judge yours. The pressure is real, but the audience is imaginary, Doctor. The escape begins when they stop living for the camera and start living for their future. When they understand that slow growth is not failure, it is sustainability. When they accept that the people who look ahead today are the ones who built patiently yesterday. The truth is simple, Doctor. You cannot impress your way into stability. You build your way into it. And the moment a young person chooses building over performing, their anxiety drops, their clarity returns, and their life begins to move in the direction of their own design, not society's expectations. The world celebrates the finish line, Doctor, but the wise celebrates the construction.
Thank you, Professor. President, many young people feel their background is a disadvantage. How can they turn their story into strength?
Thank you, Doctor. So, a young person turns their background into strength the moment they stop treating it as a stain and start treating it as a source of power. So your story is not a disadvantage. It is your raw material. The world teaches young people to hide where they come from, to apologize for it, to shrink it. But the truth is this, daughter. Your background is the one thing no one else can copy. It is your originality. It is your edge. When you grow up with struggle, you learn endurance. When you grow up with limited resources, you learn creativity. When you grow up with responsibility, you learn maturity early. When you grow up with disappointment, you learn resilience. These are not weaknesses, doctor. They are muscles. So a young person begins to turn their story into strength when they stop asking, why me? And start asking, what did my journey teach me that others don't have? Because every hardship leaves you with a skill: patience, grit, empathy, hunger, adaptability, and courage. These are the qualities that build leaders, innovators, and survivors, doctor. Your background becomes strength when you use it as fuel instead of shame. When you let it sharpen you instead of silence you. When you understand that the very things you thought disqualified you are the things that prepared you. You are not behind. You are forged. And forged things do not break easily.
Thank you, Professor. What are the most common mistakes young people make when starting their hustle journey?
Thank you, doctor. So, the most common mistakes young people make at the start of their hustle journey are not about effort. They are about direction. Most of the pain, frustration, and the burnout they experience comes from starting with the wrong assumptions. The first mistake is trying to look successful before becoming successful. They spend energy performing progress instead of building it. So they chase the image, not the foundation. And the image collapses quickly. So another mistake is expecting fast results, doctor. The hustle is slow, uneven, unpredictable. Many young people quit too early because they think slow progress means failure, when in reality, slow progress is the only kind that lasts. A third mistake is trying to do everything alone. They hide their struggles, avoid asking questions, and fear looking inexperienced. But the hustle becomes lighter the moment you allow yourself to learn from others. Many also start without understanding the problem they are solving. They focus on what they want to sell, not what people actually need. A hustle without a customer is just a hobby. And perhaps the biggest mistake is comparing their beginning to someone else's middle. So, comparison kills confidence. It makes young people feel behind when they are simply at the start. So, the truth is simple, doctor. The hustle becomes clearer, calmer, and more rewarding the moment a young person stops rushing, stops performing, stops comparing, and starts building with honesty, patience, and purpose.
Thank you, Professor. How can young people develop resilience when their first attempt fails?
Thank you, doctor. So resilience begins the moment a young person realizes that failure is not a wall. It is a mirror. It reflects where you are, not where you are destined to remain. When your first attempt collapses, doctor, the instinct is to shrink, to doubt yourself, to feel exposed. But resilience grows when you allow the failure to teach you instead of define you. So a young person becomes resilient when they stop taking failure personally. Failure is not a verdict on your ability, doctor. It is feedback to your strategy. It is the world saying, adjust, don't retreat. Resilience grows when you understand that every meaningful journey is a difficult beginning. You guys can know it with the Springfield story. The first attempt is supposed to be messy. The first step is supposed to be shaky. The first version is supposed to be impatient. That is not a sign of weakness. It is the price of entry. And resilience becomes real when you refuse to let embarrassment silence you, doctor. Talk to people who have walked the path. Ask questions. Learn openly. There is no shame in starting again. The shame is in pretending you never wanted more. The truth is simple, doctor. Your first attempt failed because it was your first attempt. Your second will be better. Your third will be wiser. Your fourth will be stronger. Resilience is not a personality trait. It is a decision, doctor. A decision to rise one more time than you fail. A decision to believe that your story is still unfolding, doctor. A decision to trust that you are being shaped, not destroyed. Failure is not the end, doctor. It is the rehearsal of your becoming.
Thank you, Professor. How can young people build networks when they don't come from influential families?
Thank you, doctor. So, young people who don't come from influential families often believe they are starting from behind. But in reality, they are starting from authenticity. And authenticity builds stronger networks than privilege ever will. You build a network not by having the right surname, but by becoming the kind of person people want to connect with. The first shift is understanding that networks grow from value, doctor, not status. People respond to consistency, reliability, curiosity, and effort. If you show up with respect, a hunger, and a willingness to learn, doors open. Even if you entered the room through the side. You build networks by being present where growth is happening. Community spaces, online learning platforms, youth programs, industry events, volunteer projects, digital communities. You don't need an invitation. You need initiative. You build networks by asking good questions. People remember the young person who listens deeply, not the one who tries to impress. Curiosity is magnetic, doctor. You build networks by offering what you can, even if it feels small. Help someone with a task, share information, show up early, follow through. People trust those who make their life or lives easier. And you build networks by nurturing relationships, not harvesting them. Check in, show gratitude, celebrate others, People open doors for those who make them feel seen. The truth is simple, doctor. Influence is not inherited. It is accumulated. And the young person who builds their network through character, effort, and presence ends up with connections far more meaningful than those handed down by birth. Your background is not a barrier, doctor. It is the reason your network will be real and unshakable.
Thank you, Professor. Let's take a break and listen to our gospel song, The Wayfarer of Internal Parts.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah. To a horizon where the dawn had no beginning, where the colors of creation moved like living, breathing hymns. You call me to the crossroads where the ancient pathways meet, and the ground beneath me trembled as your presence touched my feet. Stretching far beyond the stars, each one glowing with the stories of the healed and the scarred. You said, walk the path before you. Woo. It was written in my hand, and suddenly the universe unfolded at your command. I am a wayfarer of eternal past, walking where your wisdom shapes the aftermath. You send me through the gateways where the future learns to rise, where the echoes of your glory paint the borders of the sky. Oh, no power can hinder what your purpose drafts. For our journey in the footsteps of your ancient crafts. You led me through the gardens where forgotten dreams revive, where the seeds of broken seasons burst again to life. I saw the scrolls of nations carried by the winds of grace, and angels marking destinies with fire in their gaze. You placed a mantle on me woven from celestial thread, a garment of remembrance for the battles fought ahead. You whispered, go with courage, you are not of earthly dust, and the weight of heaven's kingdom settled gently
Welcome back. Let's continue with our discussion. President, what advice would you give to a young person who feels stuck between survival and ambition?
Thank you, Doctor. So a young person who feels stuck between survival and ambition is not confused. They are carrying two truths at the same time. One truth says, I need to eat today. The other says, I want to build a life I am proud of. And holding both can feel like standing in a storm with no shelter. The first thing they must understand is this: survival is not the enemy of ambition, Doctor. It is the foundation of it. There is no shame in doing what you must while preparing for what you want. You see? You can be doing cleaning, helping people while you are learning. Every great story has a chapter where the hero is simply trying to stay afloat. The trap is believing that survival means you have no future. It doesn't. It means you are in the season where you gather strength, discipline, and clarity. The very things ambition will demand from you later. The way out of the stuck feeling is to give each part of your life its place. Let survival handle the present. Let ambition then design the future. And let discipline build the bridge between the two, Doctor. You don't have to choose between feeding yourself and dreaming big. You honor your ambitions by staying alive long enough to reach it. You honor your survival by refusing to let it shrink your vision. You are not stuck. You are transitioning. And transitions always feels like tension before they feel like progress, Doctor. One day, the very hustle that feels like a burden will become the story that proves you were stronger than your circumstances.
Thank you, Professor. How can young people avoid comparing their hustle journey to others on social media?
So thank you, Doctor. So young people fall into the comparison trap on social media because they are looking at other people's highlights while they living through their own behind the scenes. So it creates a false sense of failure, as if everyone else is moving faster, shining brighter, winning earlier. The escape begins with one realization, Doctor. Social media is not a mirror. It is a stage. People post their victories, not their battles. They show their destination, not their journey. They display the applause, not the loneliness, the doubt, the debt, the mistakes, the retries. When a young person understands this, the pressure begins to loosen. The next step is to return to their own lane. Your hustle has its own rhythm, its own timing, its own lessons. You cannot grow at someone else's pace. You can only grow at yours. And the moment you honor your pace, comparison loses its power. So a young person avoids the trap by grounding themselves in reality, Doctor. The real work happens off camera. The real progress is slow. The real breakthroughs come from consistency, not performance. And the real competition is with the person you were yesterday, not the person trending today. Social media is a gallery of moments. Life is a journey of becoming. Choose your journey, choose your lane, and choose your pace. The world will celebrate you when it's time, but you must build quietly until then.
Thank you, Professor. How can young people protect themselves from shortcuts that promise fast money but lead to long-term damage?
Thank you, Doctor. So, shortcuts are dangerous because they disguise themselves as opportunities. They speak in the language of agents: quick money, no effort, no risk. But they always demand a price far higher than what they reward. So a young person protects themselves by understanding one truth, Doctor. Anything that promises fast money is borrowing from your future. It will take your freedom, your reputation, your peace, your safety, and your time. And sometimes, all of them at once. The escape begins with clarity, Doctor. When you know what you want your life to look like, you stop gambling with it. You stop letting desperation make decisions for you. You stop letting pressure push you into traps disguised as opportunities. You protect yourself by slowing down long enough to ask the hard questions, Doctor. If this goes wrong, what will it cost me? Why is the reward so high for so little effort? Would I be proud to explain this to my future self? Shortcuts collapse under honest questions. You also protect yourself by surrounding yourself with people who are building, not performing. People who understand the value of patience, people who are not seduced by the illusion of fast success. Your cycle can save you or sink you, Doctor. And finally, you protect yourself by remembering that real success is slow, steady, and sometimes painfully quiet. It doesn't trend. It doesn't glitter. It doesn't promise miracles, but it lasts. Shortcuts offer speed. Discipline offers freedom. And choose freedom.
Wow, this is amazing. Let's take a commercial break and stay tuned.
At Springfield Research University, we don't teach to pass exams, we encode futures. Grounded in Education 6.0 and powered by STEMmer, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, medicine and automation, we deliver modular, sovereign learning across undergraduate, master's and doctoral programs. Explore our prospectus, where every curriculum is designed to stematize every discipline, dignify local authorship, and credential transformative knowledge. Be stematized, be sovereign. Here, knowledge is authored, not borrowed. Curriculum is credentialed, not copied. Every graduate becomes an architect of transformation. With 2 annual intakes, March and September, the path to innovation is always open. From the logic of automation to the soul of indigenous intelligence, SRU is where tomorrow is designed. Springfield isn't just a university, it's an epicenter of epistemic dignity. Join the movement. Study where learning governs itself. Springfield Research University, the globe is here. Where are you?
Welcome back. Let's continue with our discussion. How can young people maintain hope when life feels slow, unfair, or stagnant?
Thank you, Doctor. So, hope is the hardest to hold when life feels slow, unfair, or painfully still. But that is exactly when hope becomes what? A discipline, not an emotion. If a young person maintains hope by understanding that Slow seasons are not empty, they are formative. Life is not punishing you, it is preparing you. Growth often happens underground, in silence, long before anything wrecks the surface, doctor. So when life feels unfair, remind yourself that unfairness is not prophecy. It is a moment, and moments pass. Stories continue, and your story is still unfolding. When life feels stagnant, shift your focus from outcomes to direction, doctor. You may not be moving fast, but if you are learning, healing, trying, observing, or even just surviving, you are not stuck. You are gathering the strength that your next chapter will demand. So hope grows when you stop measuring your life by speed and start measuring it by alignment. Are you becoming more disciplined, more self-aware, more resilient, more intentional? These quiet transformations matter more than any visible milestone, doctor. And here is the truth that young people must hold close. Your life can change slowly for a long time, then suddenly, all at once. The breakthrough always looks impossible until the moment it arrives. So hope is not pretending everything is fine, doctor. Hope is saying, even if today is heavy, tomorrow still has room for me. It is the courage to believe that your story has chapters you haven't lived yet. You are not behind, you are not forgotten. You are in the season where your roots are growing deeper than your circumstances. So you hold on. Your becoming is already in motion.
Thank you, Professor. Finally, President, what is your message to every young person trying to build a future from limited resources but unlimited potential?
Thank you, Doctor. So, to every young person building a future from limited resources but unlimited potential. So here is my message. Your life is not defined by what you start with. It is defined by what you start. Resources may be small, but your capacity is vast. Your pockets may be light, but your mind is heavy with possibility. And possibility is the true current of transformation. So do not underestimate the power of humble beginnings. Some of the strongest foundations are laid in silence, in struggle, and in scarcity. When you build from little, you learn discipline. When you build without applause, you learn focus. When you build without shortcuts, you learn integrity. These are the qualities that make success durable. You are not disadvantaged. You are being sharpened. You are not behind. You are being prepared. You are not empty. You are being formed. Your potential is not waiting for money. It is waiting for movement. Start where you are. Use what you have. Grow what you know. And trust that every small step is stitching your future together. One day, the world will look at your journey and call it inspiring. But today, it is simply you choosing to rise, choosing to try, choosing to believe that your story deserves a future. And it does. Your resources may be limited, but your becoming is limitless. Thank you, Dr. Boyadin.
Thank you, President, for restoring hope to young people who feel stuck in the starting line. Your message tonight reminds us that progress is not reserved for the privileged. It is built through creativity, discipline, and courage. To our audience, if you're ready to rise from limited resources and build your own opportunities, Springfield Research University invites you to join a community where hustle is guided by strategy. Visit www.springfieldresearchuniversity.net to begin. This brings us to the end of tonight's edition of Springfield Career Insights. May your hustle be purposeful, your journey unstoppable. I am Clarence, your host. Good night.
Genjabulo sihlomela impilo leyinhle lena. Hey hey siyakhuphuka tikiti lethu Tanza lungakhiwa. Hey hey siyakhuphuka sonke siyavumelana ngemjululo muhle sonke similela. Hey hey siyakhuphuka tikiti lethu Tanza lungakhiwa. Hey 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 siyakhuphuka sonke siyavumelana ngemjululo muhle sonke similela. In the heart of Springfield, a new dawn breaks. With Channel Yamaswati, our future takes shape. Career insights, knowledge shared so bright. Together we rise, reaching new heights. Springfield's calling, let's unite. With Channel Yamaswati, we ignite. Innovation and growth, we lead the way. Together we shine, here to stay. Together we rise, together we shine. Springfield and Yamaswati, for all time. Together we rise, together we shine. Springfield and Yamaswati, partners for all time. Celebration time, our vision clear. With collaboration, there's nothing to fear. Education and research, hand in hand. Building a future where dreams will stand. Springfield's calling, let's unite. With Channel Yamaswati, we ignite. Innovation and growth, we lead the way. Together we shine, here to stay. Together we rise, together we shine. Springfield and Yamaswati, all proud, all time. Springfield and Yamaswati, partners for all time. Doors are opening to a world so grand. In STEM fields we proudly stand. Channel Yamaswati, our guiding light. Together we conquer, our future bright.